Sometimes you have these moments in life where it seems to hit rock bottom. All the things you planned for and hoped for are not working out, and you're hitting rock bottom and you're just saying, hey, what's next? So I'm currently in one of these seasons. I'm reminded of when you surrender your life and your will and you just give it over to God, He will cause a breakthrough to happen, but He'll do it in His own timing. So why I'm sharing this with you is because I've been sharing my journey of change with you online these last 4 years, and I'm kind of at this point now where I've been in Hawaii for a while and I'm wondering what's next. I had plans and everything, and sometimes things don't turn out as you hope, right? And there's other things that are happening behind the scenes, which maybe I'll share in a future video. I'm kind of at this point of surrender to God and just saying, God, what do you want from me? I have tried to do things my own way. I've followed blueprints and done the best I could, and things haven't worked out. So what do you have for me? And it's really in that place of complete surrender that God comes through. So when you're going through one of these moments where you feel like you don't have control of anything, what I would suggest doing is remembering those times that things have worked out for you in the past. And in my case, I'm a believer and I believe in God. And I remember those times that God has come through for me in the past. And it talks about this in the Bible when the Israelites crossed the river, the Jordan River. They memorialized the moment, and they had tabernacles or stones. Okay, if you are a theologian, do not come at me. I am not a preacher. Anyway, the point is, when you're going through a hard time, remember those moments that God has come through in the past. I'm kind of doing this video for those who need encouragement, those who have not had things work out and they're kind of at this breaking point, because I've been in those moments before, and I'm going to share 3 stories with you of how God has come through in the past and how I lean on these moments right now when I'm uncertain about what to do going forward. So number 1, early on in my career, I did not know what I was doing, and I was unemployed for about 9 months. It was a really long time. And, I applied to all these jobs and not get a job offer or not even get an interview, right? So then I reached out to one of my friends from college, and I told her I don't really know what I want to do with my life. And what she did is she referred me to an agency who is placing contractors or temps at Google. So then I got a position at Google, right? A temporary contract position. And then a lot had to happen behind the scenes, but basically over the course of a year, I got converted to a full-time position, promoted 2 levels and a salary increase and everything. Before that moment, I kind of sped up a bit, but I remember when I was going through that unemployment, I literally told God, I said, God, what do you want me to do? When you're early on in your career, there's so much pressure, right? I was in my 20s, and I said, God, what do you want from me? And I literally said, if you want me to go into ministry, I'll go into ministry. If you want me to be poor and have a low-paying job, I'll do it, right? And I surrendered my life and my career to Him. Ever since that point in my career where I got a job at Google, I know God has been in control. So when I was working at Google, I just gave God my career. I said, okay, God, you got me in this company, and I just surrender my career to you. So it was at that point that I did that. So fast forward a few years down the road, I graduated from business school, and I didn't want to go the corporate route many of my peers were doing. They were getting jobs in investment banking or management consulting or CPG, or basically big companies, right? I graduated with my MBA unemployed, right? And then I came back to the Bay Area. So I went to business school at the University of Michigan. And then I came back, and then I was applying to all these jobs at startups because I thought that was the path I wanted to try. I wanted to try a smaller company. I would apply to all these jobs, get to the final round and then be rejected. And I remember keeping an Excel spreadsheet of all the jobs I applied for. It's probably about 50, right? And it was so exhausting. And I came to this point where I questioned everything. I questioned why I went to business school. I questioned why I left Google to go to business school and everything. And a lot of my personal life was falling apart at that time as well. And during those moments, it was incredibly challenging because I had something. I had a job at Google previously, and I gave that up. And I really do feel like there are seasons in your life, and I know God had called me to just leave Google and go to business school. He opened the door, right? I was really mad though, and but during that hard time, this verse became my motto, Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things will be added unto you. And I just told God, all right, God, I'm going to seek you. Whatever happens, you will provide a job. you'll do things, right? I really hit that breaking point. And eventually, God provided. I got jobs at smaller tech startups as a first marketing hire, and that prepared me to be an entrepreneur. And those were the skill sets I was in search of. Then here's a third moment. So I was going through a pretty low season, a depression, when I was working in tech, and this was during the pandemic. And it's not even so much about working in tech or being burnt out. It's just sometimes you know when you're not in alignment and your season has ended. So my season had ended, right? And I was going through a really low depression. And so I decided to take a break and move from San Francisco to Hawaii because I could work remotely at that time. So I did that, right? And during that moment, my friend told me to start documenting my journey on TikTok. So I did that. And I started growing a following and a community. I eventually quit my job for entrepreneurship. And then over these last 4 years, being able to build my own personal brand and community online has been more than my wildest dreams. Like, I really can't believe sometimes that I can post a video and anyone around the world can see it. And I built a community, like, you guys engage with me and I can share my story and everything. And just being able to have that influence and impact, I never take it for granted. And that was honestly like my biggest, wildest dreams, is being able to build my own brand. And it's not only building a brand, but it was being able to use the gifts I have to inspire others and to use the words I have and encourage others. So I've been able to do that through doing YouTube videos, right? And videos on Instagram and TikTok as well. So, but before that happened, I hit such a low point. And honestly, how I've grown on social media or YouTube, it hasn't been conventional. I'm not in a certain niche. Literally, I grew on Instagram through talking about cockroaches in Hawaii. Literally, I just documented my cockroach situation. Like, you can't plan that strategy. Sometimes there's all these content strategies, and then I would just post something and it'd go viral. And people began following me, not so much because I was in a certain niche, but because of me and my story. So you can't plan that stuff out, right? Like, that was another moment where sometimes you hit rock bottom. Like, I was depressed, just questioning everything, and then God will have a change happen. So that change was moving to Hawaii and then growing my business and brand through video. All right, so I share those 3 stories to encourage you to say, you know, when you're going through a hard time, just wait on the Lord, surrender to Him and see what happens. And I'm sharing that to you, and I'm sharing that for myself too. This upcoming year is going to be transitional. I'm dealing with a lot of different things about where I should be, where I should take my business and everything. And sometimes, honestly, I feel like a failure. I think, things haven't worked out as planned. And I'll put these exceedingly high expectations on myself, such as, all right, you need to be a 7-figure entrepreneur at this point. If you're not, you failed. And what's the point of this? So I'll honestly do that to myself sometimes, and I'm pretty hard. There's going to be some upcoming transitions, and I'm not really sure what's going to happen. But I remind myself that when I surrender to God, things aren't always linear, right? But when I'm in His will, there is blessing there, and the breakthrough will eventually happen. It might not happen in a day or a week or even a month, but 9 months from now, or a year, or even 2 years, you'll see how everything fit into pieces. You'll see why things had to happen the way they had to happen. That's how I feel. And I just want to be transparent with you. I hope this video encourages you. And if you're going through a hard time and you don't know what's happening, just wait. Just wait on the Lord. See what happens. And sometimes when you hit rock bottom, the only way to go is up. And there is divine timing. And just praying that over your life and mine as well. Those are my thoughts. If you've been in a similar situation, let me know below in the comments. I'm just sharing from my heart, and hopefully my experiences can help you. So that's this story time. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.